how are you all doing? Welcome you back in my geography classes. Today we will discuss about the commercial farming of class 10 from the chapter Agriculture. In the last video, we discussed about the intensive subsistence farming, and we also got to know the difference between the primitive subsistence farming and the intensive subsistence farming. Now today, we will understand what you mean by commercial farming, what are the features of commercial farming, and also the difference between the intensive and the commercial farming. So let's get started. Now what is commercial farming? As you can see, the term commercial farming, commercial here referred as a type of farming where mainly the farming is practiced so that the crops that are produced can be sold in the market. So what do you mean by commercial farming? Commercial farming is a type of farming in which the crops are grown for the purpose of gaining profit, is that by selling the crops along with rearing of animals. So what is a commercial farming? A commercial farming is a type of farming in which the crops are grown for the purpose of gaining profit. That means mainly for the commercial use. How? By selling the crops, and along with the cultivation of crops, here we will see that the rearing of animals are also practiced. So this is referred as the commercial farming. Now let us see that what are the features of commercial farming. The features of commercial farming. Now the first feature of commercial farming is the size of land holding is large. That means this type of farming is done on a large plot of land. We will see that this type of farming is practiced in those areas where the densities are quite low. That means they are practiced in areas of low density. Unlike the intensive subsistence farming, which is practiced on the areas of densely populated regions. And here we will see that these are practiced in areas of low density. Here we will see that the farmers use high doses of modern inputs, is that HIV seeds, insecticides, pesticides, chemical fertilizers at a high rate. Now, this type of farming use heavy machineries because the main aim is to increase the production. Now, how to increase the production without use of modern heavy machineries? So they use heavy machineries to increase the production. As here we will see that they use heavy machineries. So what kind of labor is required? As we can see that they use heavy machineries, that means it can be well understandable that it is a capital intensive type of farming where a huge investment is required for buying farm materials, machineries, which can be utilized to increase the productivity from the large plot of land. Now let us see what are the other features. Now, in this type of farming, as we can see that modern tools and techniques are used and it is quite capital intensive. Then what kind of labor are required? Here we will see it is not that much labor intensive because most of the works are done by the machines, but still it needs labor to operate the machines. It requires skilled and unskilled laborers. Here, what is the main aim of this farming? The main purpose of this type of farming is to sell the products commercially. That means to gain maximum profit. We can also say that profit maximization is the main purpose of this kind of farming. Now, in commercial farming, which type of crops will be cultivated? Here in this type of farming, we will see those types of crops are cultivated which are in high demand. That means the crops which have more commercial value or have more export value, or the crops that can be used as raw materials by other industries. Those type of crops are mainly cultivated, like the cash crops like cotton, jute, all these other crops which are cultivated in a high rate here in commercial farming. So the crops which are in high demand is that high export value, or we can say they are commercial value or used as a raw material in other industries. Mainly the cash crops, cotton, jute, wheat, all are grown in this type of farming. Now this type of farming is referred as unique. Why it is called unique? Because this type of farming traditionally done all around the year. Here we will see that this type of farmings are traditionally done all around the year. Why? Because the farmers are not dependent on the the natural fertility of soil, or not, they are not dependent on the monsoon. So they can utilize the land, they can irrigate the land throughout the year. They can keep the farming system under operation throughout the year because they are mostly dependent on modern tools and techniques, modern machineries. They use high doses of modern inputs. So here we will see that throughout the year this kind of farming can go on. It is not that it is confined to particular this period of time. No, it can go on throughout the year. The next feature is the crops. Like, how many types of crops are grown here? Generally, only one type of crop is grown here. We call it monoculture. Which are the states or the regions where this type of cultivation is widely practiced in India? Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, Maharashtra. So these are the regions where we will see that commercial farming is widely being practiced. Now we will see that the degree of commercialization varies from region to region. That means in a particular state or in a particular region where one crop is a commercial crop because all the facilities which are required are available in this type of region or in this state, and where we will see that the farmers use a lot of capital, they use a modern means of tools and techniques, and also use modern inputs so that they can produce the crop at a surplus amount and they can sell it in the market so that they can earn more profit by selling in the market. Whereas in other region, that particular crop is grown as a subsistence crop. For example, in Punjab, rice is a commercial crop, whereas in Odisha, it is a subsistence crop. So I hope all of you understood the features of the commercial farming. Now let us see what are the differences between the intensive subsistence and commercial farming. Now let us know that how the commercial farming is different from the intensive subsistence farming. Now, intensive subsistence farming is practiced where? It is practiced in areas of high density of population that put pressure on land. And where it is practiced? It is practiced in areas of low density of population. Mainly in this type of farming, the farmers cultivate cereal and food crops. Why? To meet their own needs, that is for their own subsistence and to meet the needs of the local market. Here in terms of commercial crops like cash crops are grown for commercial use and market or to export it. In intensive subsistence farming, we can say that it is labor intensive, and here we can say it is capital intensive. Why? Because it requires high application of inputs. So in intensive subsistence farming, it is a labor intensive, and here it is a capital intensive, which requires high application of inputs. So what we can see that in intensive subsistence farming, it is practiced in areas of high density of population and where it put pressure on land, and it is practiced in areas of low density of population. Here the farmers cultivate cereal and food crops so that they can meet their own needs and also to meet the needs of the local market. And here mainly the cash crops are cultivated, which can be used for commercial purpose, like for commercial use, and to sell it in the market to export it. In intensive subsistence farming, it is labor intensive, and here in commercial farming, it is capital intensive because it requires high application of inputs. Now let us see what are the other differences between intensive and commercial farming. Now in intensive subsistence farming, we will see that the farm size are small and uneconomical. Now why this is so? Due to fragmentation. The land holdings are going on fragmented. Fragmentation of land holdings on account of right to inheritance. Because in India we have right to inheritance. So due to this, we can see that day by day the size of land holdings are becoming smaller. Here in commercial farming, the size of farm are large and they use modern machines, modern inputs for large scale production. In intensive subsistence farming, we will see that the farmers try to get maximum output. That means we can say they obtain maximum output from the limited land. Now they do not have any other alternative from where they will obtain the output. So whatever land is available to them, which is limited, they try to obtain the maximum output from this limited land. Here in commercial farming, farmers obtain maximum profit from selling the products. So here we will say that the farmers obtain maximum profit from selling the products. So at a large scale they do the production so that they can sell the products and they can obtain profit from this type of farming. Here more than one crop is cultivated. Here generally one type of crop is cultivated. So what we can see here, that the farm size are small and uneconomical due to fragmentation of land holdings, and here the size of farms are quite large and they use modern machineries, modern inputs for large scale production. The farmers try to get maximum output from the limited land as they do not have any other alternatives. and the farmers here obtain maximum profit from selling the products. Here more than one crop is cultivated, and here generally one type of crop is cultivated. So these are the differences between intensive subsistence and commercial farming. So I hope all of you understood what we have learned in today's video. We learned about the commercial farming. What is commercial farming? The features of commercial farming. Now, in which states mostly the commercial farming are practiced in India. We also learned that how intensive subsistence farming is different from commercial farming. That is the difference between intensive subsistence and the commercial farming. I hope all of you understood very well what has been discussed in this video. So what you will do now, you will go through your NCERTs, you will read in between the lines, you will also go through the PDF that has been provided in the description box on this topic so that it can help you to understand the topic very clearly. If you have any problem or any suggestion, you can comment in the comment box given below. If you like my video and my content, don't forget to hit the like button. If you want to watch more videos on this chapter, do subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed yet. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for the further notifications of my upcoming videos. Till then, stay safe and stay at your home. Thank you.